Welcome to another episode of NACIC Bible Stories. Have you ever wondered what would happen if everyone in the world spoke the exact same language? No barriers, no confusion, just perfect understanding. Sounds amazing, right? But what if that unity turned into pride, and pride turned into rebellion against God? Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the Bible, the story of the Tower of Babel, a story about bricks, ambition, pride, and the moment when God himself stepped in to change the course of human history forever. The children of Noah multiplied and spread across the land. Families grew into tribes, tribes into great groups, and the earth was filled with people. At this time, something very special united them. They all spoke the same language. Imagine a world where everyone understood one another perfectly. No miscommunication, no misunderstanding. People could build, create, and dream together as one. One day, as they journeyed east, the people arrived at a wide, open plain. It was called Shinar, a land of rich soil, warm sun, and endless space to build. The people began to talk among themselves. Their conversations grew louder, more excited, more daring. "Come," one leader said, "let us make bricks from this clay and burn them until they are strong." "Yes," another shouted, "and with these bricks, we will build a great city where we will all live together." At first, it sounded harmless, a safe place for families, a city where no one would be scattered. But soon, the dream became something far greater and far more dangerous. "We don't want just an ordinary city," the people declared. "We want a tower so tall it will reach the heavens." Their eyes sparkled with pride as they spoke the words. "In this way, we will be famous. The whole world will know our name. We will make ourselves great." Day after day, the sound of building filled the land. Bricks clinked together, hammers struck stone, and the tower began to rise. It was no ordinary tower. It was massive. Higher and higher it climbed, scraping the sky itself. People marveled at their work. "Look at what we are building," they cheered. "Nothing can stop us now." They thought their power and unity made them invincible. But what they didn't see was that their hearts were full of pride. They were building not for God, but for themselves. From heaven, God looked down at the city and the tower the people were building. He saw their busy hands and proud hearts. He listened to their words of ambition, of fame, of glory. "These people are united," God said. "They speak the same language, and nothing seems impossible for them. But their pride will only lead them further away from me. They believe they can reach heaven without me. I cannot allow this." God's voice was calm, but filled with wisdom. "I will confuse their speech. I will give each one a different language, so they will no longer understand one another." The very next day, something strange happened. "Hand me that brick," a worker shouted, but the man beside him looked puzzled. "¿Qué dijiste?" he asked in confusion. Another called, "Lift a stone higher," but his helper shook his head, hearing only gibberish. Suddenly, chaos filled the worksite. Instructions turned into arguments. Arguments turned into shouting. Shouting turned into silence as no one understood what the other was saying. Bricklayers dropped their bricks. Carpenters set down their hammers. Builders scratched their heads in frustration. The tower that once climbed proudly into the sky now stood silent, unfinished. The people could no longer work together. Families that once lived side by side could no longer understand one another. Slowly, they began to drift apart. Some moved north, others south. Some journeyed east, others west. The great city they had dreamed of was abandoned. The mighty tower was left unfinished, a broken reminder of their pride. From that day on, the place was called Babel, which means confusion, because there God confused the language of the whole world. The Tower of Babel stands as a reminder of something very important. We should put God above ourselves, not seek fame or glory for our own name. The people thought their unity and strength were enough to reach heaven, but they forgot the most important truth. Without God, human pride always fails. God wanted his people to depend on him, to worship him, and to remember that true greatness comes from humility and obedience, not from ambition and pride. So, children, what can we learn from the Tower of Babel? 1. How God mixed up the languages of humankind. What once was one language became many, and today we see thousands of languages spoken across the earth. 2. God did not accept the arrogance of humankind. When people tried to make themselves greater than God, He stepped in to remind them that He alone deserves the glory. The Tower of Babel teaches us that pride leads to division, but humility leads to peace. True unity is not found in building towers for our own names, but in following God's plan together. So the next time you feel tempted to boast or seek fame, remember this story. Remember that God desires humble hearts, not proud towers. Thanks for joining us on this episode of NACIC Bible Stories. We'll see you next time with more stories that bring the Bible to life, just for you. Till we meet again, stay safe and be blessed.